most men today are not living. I would say they are doing what is called coping. They work all week, they drink all weekend, they scroll till midnight, and they chase dopamine. And call it what you want to call it. If you want to call it normal, that's fine, but that's not life. That is slow suicide. And the reality is that too many men build lives that they're constantly trying to run from. They build these lives where they're so engorged in their work at a job that they really just hate, trying to build nothing outside of that to get them out of that system and get trapped into a marriage that maybe was well-meaning at first but has gone south because of all of those other things. So they're trying to run from their problems. But the promise of this episode today is that it is about building a life that you don't have to escape from, and not one that you have to numb yourself to survive, one that you can wake up every day and be glad that you're in it. And even if it's hard at times, and even if it doesn't make sense in certain moments, it's your life, and that is what is important. So we're going to talk about that. If you are interested in this, stay tuned till the end, and I will give you guys another challenge. Please stay tuned. Good morning, good evening, hello everybody, wherever you are watching from. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Better Men Daily. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, drop a like below. Helps boost me the algorithm. And if you guys are enjoying all of this content, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Today, we are going to talk about life and how hard life is and how you can build a life that you don't want to run away from. And I'm going to be sharing from some personal experience and some situations where I realized that I was doing that same thing in my life and what I did to make it better and what you guys can do too, hopefully, and you take some value from this. And if you stay tuned to the end, you'll get a challenge and a question of sorts for yourself to ask and bring home into your own personal life. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, a lot of guys think that they're just living their life, but really they're just trying to escape and fill it with other things to stop the void in their heart. And I will share from a personal moment that I felt the same way, where I was at a job where I was just mindlessly scrolling on social media. I was overeating. I had sleep problems. I had anger issues. I had problems in my marriage, and I was always living for Friday, because Friday meant freedom, and sometimes even Saturday meant freedom, because I would work overtime on weekends a lot as well. And I would dread Monday, and I would feel terrible. I would only have maybe one day a week that I could even enjoy myself, and I spent it sleeping and laying around and eating like trash and not getting along with my family, and that sucked. And I mean, that's just my situation, but even productive men can escape. They can thrive in their personal or professional life and still come home and be miserable and not want to be around their family and do things to cope. Whether your vice is drinking or it's porn or it's food or whatever your vice is, cigarettes, I don't know. I used to call my vices decompressing, but really what I was doing was just hiding from the reality of me not being happy with the life that I was living. And before I get into some of these building habits, let me make it clear that this is not like a black and white thing. This is not a one moment I'm escaping from my life and the next moment I am living a life of freedom that I don't want to escape from. There's a lot of times, even in these days, where I'll have a bad day where it feels like I want to escape or it feels like I need to escape. And that is just your mental training of I'm used to coping and I'm used to running from my problems. So anytime I face adversity in my life, I want to escape. But we are going to work together, you and I, friends, on building habits that make it so we don't want to escape when it gets hard and make it so we are especially thankful that we didn't escape when we are having good days. So we're going to start with escaping versus building. You don't escape a life you love. You only escape a life that you're avoiding responsibility for. And that looks like hiding in your sins and hiding in your vanity and hiding in whatever you're using to cope, whether that's partying and drinking and drugs or smoking and food and porn and all sorts of other horrible things. Video games can even be that, if not handled in a mature manner. There's a lot of ways that people use to escape their lives, and humans are very creative creatures. So you may be trying to escape your life and not even realize you're trying to escape your life. So you need to define what building looks like to understand if you are actively building your home or if you're actively taking a sledgehammer to it, because sometimes it's hard to tell. But building looks like creating margin and peace and purpose in your days, things that you are chasing after that build a legacy, not just punch the clock and get it done and I did what I had to today kind of activities. Marking your home a place of rest and energy, a place where you can, ironically enough, escape from in sorts, but in a healthy manner, a place that you feel, I had a long day at work and I'm tired, I want to come home, and home is a place of peace. It's a place of quiet and tranquility in the spiritual world and the emotional world, and structuring your life around mission and not survival. Structuring your life around, I'm building something greater that I may not see the fruits of in my lifetime, but it's okay because I'm doing it. I'm not just surviving. I have an active plan that I am thriving in. And that looked like a couple subtle shifts for me and a couple replacements of habits. And for me, that looked like going to the gym instead of playing video games all night when I got home. And that looked like planning dates with my wife instead of zoning out and going with the flow. And that looked like praying with intention instead of just asking God to rescue me all of the time. And what I started to realize as I switched on some of these habits was there is a very, very tiny and surprisingly small difference between a life that you are trying to escape from and a life that you are actively building in. Because some of these habits, once you switch them out, it feels the same, but it's more life-giving, if that makes sense. And we're going to talk about some of those right now. And some of them I have that I jotted down for us is journaling instead of doom scrolling, and lifting instead of drinking or partying, or vision boards and mission planning, or spending time with God instead of venting to social media about how hard your life is and how hard your problems are, and please, I feel so bad, give me likes and attention. And because of this, I want to introduce a mental model to you guys, and this is kind of what I've come to the conclusion of, that you're either numbing your pain or you're building your purpose. And like I had mentioned, those things look very similar. Satan comes as an angel of light. So a lot of these things are seemingly innocent, but really soul-crushing and soul-killing. And some of these things that, even though they're just a little bit of a tweak or a little bit similar, you're going from a life of soul-draining and I want to escape all the time to I'm actively building a legacy. And the reality of it, beyond all else, guys, is that if you are in a life that you're not happy and you are trying to escape your own life, you need to build a better one. And whether you like it or not, that responsibility is on you to take that initiative and feel like you got to step up and create that legacy and build a life that you're happy in. And being happy in your life doesn't mean you're always in a good mood, and it doesn't always mean things are going well. Sometimes it means the opposite. Sometimes it means that everything in your whole life is going to heck in a handbasket, and there's nothing you can do about it other than stay disciplined, stay focused, and make sure that you are doing everything that you have to build a future for you and your family. And that's the theme here, guys, that I want to drive home while I'm like landing this plane of sorts, is that peace is not found in a pill. It's not found in your weekends or on a screen on your phone late at night. It's built in small decisions and every day by a man who knows what he's called to do. It's the little things that count way more in the long run than some of these other fleeting activities that you think are giving you any sort of peace, or if that's what you even want to call it, because all you're doing is distracting. So if you guys made it here to the end of this episode, I want to present you guys a challenge like I always do, and I am going to give you guys a hard one today, and it's one that's going to cause you to look in the mirror. And the challenge today is, what part of your life do you try to escape from the most? And what's one change this week to turn that escape into action and into active building for a better life? And I know those are hard questions to answer, but feel free to drop anything in the comments if you're building a life that doesn't need escaping, and what you guys are doing to help usher that in. So I appreciate you guys tuning into this episode of Better Men Daily. If you're on YouTube, please go ahead and drop a like. Helps boost us in the algorithm and get this content out to more men like you. And go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you are feeling like you're getting a lot out of this content. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you. Your support is appreciated. Please make sure you keep an eye out for new episodes every single day. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Take care.